All right, how laws are made in the House. 8. Legislative oversight with the standing of the committee. Each standing committee with the committee with the operation required with the review and study with a continuous basis. Organization of the operation federal agency that need the responsible administrative evaluation of these laws. Purpose of the review of the study with determining whether the laws of the program are created with the Congress are being implemented with the carried out in accordance with the intent of the Congress, whether the program should be continued with the curtail with the limited. In addition, each committee with the have the oversight with the responsibility required of the review study with any condition circumstance that may include with the necessary with the desirability and acting with the new additional legislation jurisdiction over that committee must undertake with a continuing basis future research forecasting with the matters of the jurisdiction of that committee. Each of the committee have the function review policy subject within the jurisdiction of the rules of the House provide special treatment of investment oversight with the report with the committee with the lab with the file with the investigation report of the file investigated active with the reports after the House has completed final session with the Congress. Additional with the several of the standing committees have the special oversight with the responsible detail with the responsible set forth in the rules of the House. 9. Calendars. House of the Representative they have 4 calendars. You with the Union calendar. House of the calendar with the private calendar with the calendar of motion with the discharge committee with the calendar with the compile with the publication printed each day with the House is in session publication off the contained with the history of the Senate passed for the bill, for the bills, for the House bill, for the report, for the committee bills on which for the House is acted, and other useful information when the public is favorably reported for all the committee for the assignment of the calendar number of the each of the Union calendar or the House calendar, and 2 principal calendar for the business of the calendar now number printed for the first page of the bill with a certain instant for the printed on the back page of the in this case for the page for the bill for the referred to with the multiple committees calendar numbers printed only on the bill as reported by the last committee with the considered with the Union calendar of the rules of the House provided there shall be large majority of the public bill for the resolution reported for the House in place for the Union calendar for discussion of the committee for the whole House part. 11. With the House calendar the rules for whether there shall be the bill not included involving the cost of the government resolution providing special order for the business of the example of the bill resolution. Time and place House calendar, private calendar for the rules provided there shall be for the poll for the private bill for the report of the House or place for the private calendar called out first and third Tuesdays of each month for the 2 members, 2 or more members object for the consideration members called for the recommended for the committee that are reported by the traditional 6 official of the objective of the majority side of the 3 of the minority side who may be carefully study each of the bill resolution of the private calendar. Official objective roles with the objective of the measure if it does not conform with the requirements of the calendar prevented the passage without debate with the non-meritorious bill for the resolutions. Alternative procedure preserved and for the public bill if it is not applicable for the report private bill calendar motions for the discharge committee. When a majority of the member of the House signed with the motion of the discharge committee with the consideration public bill for the resolution motion with the referred to with the calendar motion with the discharge committee with the discussion of the motion discharge see paragraph see part 10. 10. Obtaining consideration of measures certain measures for the each of the pending with the House for the Union calendar unreported and pending with the committee that are more important than urgent others of the system permitting with the consideration of the do not require the immediate action and necessary for the calendar number that allows the loan to determine the effect of the bills reported certainly spend loosely would have done less of the be taken and put all the measure placed for the House and Union calendar for the order reported. Anonymous consent with the usual the House occasionally employed with the practice along with the reported and unreported bench for the control of the unanimous agreement with the members of the House of the Chamber of the power of the recognition of the members of the Union unanimous consent with the request of ultimately discretion of the chair of the recent speak with the issue strict guidelines with such request and entertained with the most of the unanimous consent with the requires the consideration of the measures may only be entertained by the chair when ensured that the majority and the minority of the floor committee leadership has no objection special resolution and the rule to avoid delay with the allow with the selective consideration public committee for the possible have of the taken out of the order to refer for the calendar to have of the discharge of the committee with the committees or committee with the refer of the obtaining with the committee on the rules special resolution or rule for the consideration committee on rule of the composed of the majority of the minority members with the large portion of the majority of the members of the committee with the specifically granted jurisdiction of the resolution leading order business of the House the typical chairman of the committee favorable to the report of the bill request the committee on the rules originate resolution with the provided immediate and subsequent consideration if the committee on the rules has determined the measure should be taken up as a main report with the resolution reading of the substantial file with respect to the bill for the Union calendar and unreported bill. If the measure for the House of the calendar recommendation avoid the consideration committee of the whole of the resolution may read as file, but the resolution may with the waive of the points for the order against the bill of the point order objection and pending with the matter of the proceeding is a violation of the rule of the bill with the may susceptible of the various points for the order of the may be again for the consideration including assertion of the bill care for the retroactive federal income tax increase and contained with the federal unfunded mandate that has not been reported for the community properly with the time of the rules may itself execute the change of the bill for the incorporate the changes Bill upon adoption of the rule may also move to specify the manager's amendment in order prior to any other amendment with a compromise substitute with amendment into the original text of the replace with the version reported from the committee. When the rule prevents the floor amendments, as if the properly known as the closed rule of the modified closed rule, however, the rule may not deny with the minority part of the right after the motion and the recommitted bill with the property mandatory or general instruction for the discussion. Motion recommitted part 11. Consideration measure making an order of rule reported for the committee on the rules. When the rule has been reported for the House of Commons to consider the same legislative day, reported and required with the 2/3 of the vote. Consideration normally, however, the rule of the calendar has at least one legislative day, but not called for the consideration member to file for the report within 7 legislative days. Or thereafter, any of the committee of the rule may call upon one of the privileged mayor would have given in one calendar day notice of the member his intention to do so. Speaker will recognize any member of the committee speaking the recognition for the purpose of the House adopts the resolution making an order to motion when consider the bill with the such of the motion has not been offered within 7 calendar days. Therefore, such a motion shall be privileged if ordered with the direction all report committees have the initial jurisdiction over the bill. Motion discharge from the committee. A member present for the clerk of the motion with a written discharge of the committee with the consideration public bill resolution have the member for 30 calendar legislative days prior thereto. A member also may file with the motion discharge committee on the rule of the consider of the resolution on the providing the special of the rule of the consideration public bill of the resolution report with the chain committee special rule of the consideration public bill resolution and the refer of the chain with the committee with the 3rd calendar day of the motion discharge of the committee of the rule of the made only with the resolution has been made with the referred to the committee at least 7 legislative days prior. Filling the motion, discharge of the motion may not permit with the consideration on germane amendments of the motion is placed in the custody of the journal clerk where the members sign it with the House of the restoratum. When the House is in session with the name of the members of the time of the discharge of the motion with the made available to electronically published congressional record on the weekly basis for the 218 members. His time of the motion is entered within the journal printed for the signatures thereto with the congressional record for the calendar of the motion of the discharge committee on the 2nd and the 4th members Mondays of each month except for the during the last 6 days of the session of the member that is signed with the motion of the discharge that has been with the calendar at least 7 legislative days. When call upon with the motion discharge of the debate with the 20 minutes for the 1/2 hour with the favor of the proposition, 1/2 for the opposition. If the motion discharge of the committee with the House of the public bill with the resolution pending from the committee with the prevail of the member that who signed with the motion with the may move with the House to proceed with the immediate consideration of the bill resolution with the motion to agree with the bill resolution considered immediately under the general rules of the House of the votes over against the motion and the immediate consideration bill resolution for the proper calendar same status as if reported with the standing committee with the motion of the discharge committee with the resolution with the prevail of the House of immediately consider the House of the resolution if the resolution is adopted the House proceed with the execution of the main practice of the utilization of the discharge rule. Motion to suspend the rules on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays of each week during the last 6 days of the session. The Speaker may entertain with the motion to suspend of the rules of the House pass a public bill with a resolution sometimes the motion is allowed with the other day with the anonymous consent or by rule of committee on the rules. For example, the House of the rules of the committee of rules provide for the motion on Sunday within the House of the session. The members need with the range of the advance for the speaker with the recognized with the officer of the discussion of the motion. Speaker they usually recognize only the majority of the party or member of the committee with the report of the primary jurisdiction over the bill of the motion. Suspend the rules and pass of the bill debatable for 40 minutes, half the time in favor of the proposition, half in the opposition. And the motion may not be separately amended with the amended form or manager. But include the motion when it is offered because of the rules of the suspend with the bills passed only with affirmative vote with 2/3 of the members voting quorum being present. Because are usually used only the expedite with the consideration of the relative of the non-controversial of the measures. Calendar Wednesdays each week with the unless the dispense with the anonymous consent with the affirmative vote with the 2/3 of the member the voting with the quorum being present with the standing of the committee are called for the alphabetical order of the committee by the name of the may call upon with the consideration bill reported by pending on either of the House of the Union Kingdom of the report of the bill has been with the available the 3 days of the most of the privilege under the rules of the House of the General debated related limited to 2 hours of the must be with the confined with the subject matter of the measures this time being with equally divided between the for those against with the affirmative vote with a similar majority of the members present with the solution for the pass of the measure for the purpose of the rarely utilized the procedure for the provide with the alternative method of consideration of the committee on the rules not not reported with a rule for a specific bill. District Columbia business on the second and the fourth Mondays of each of the month after the disposition motion of the discharge committees after the disposal of the business for the speaker of the table the requirement of the referral of the committee on oversight of the government reform may call up consideration of the District Columbia business the report of the committee with the procedure of the rarely utilized of the modern houses. Question and privilege house rules provide the special treatment of the question of the privilege question for the privilege classified in these questions affecting the rights of the house collectively, safety, dignity, and integrity of the proceedings due affecting the rights, reputations, and the conduct of the members individually with the representative of the capacity of the question of the privilege has had to be then taken by precedence of the overall question of the except for the motion to determine the question of the privilege of the house for the concern of the rights of the house collectively take a form of the resolution which may be called upon and may any of the members of the property know the question personal purpose of affecting the rights of the reputation conduct with the individual members may be raised with it from the floor without formal notice whether it does not result with a vote with a debate with the question privilege proceed with the under the house our rule the debate with the question privilege with the half of the divide between the proponent and the leader losing party or designee privileged managers under rules of the House with a certain manner with regard to the privileged man with the interrupt the order of business with the conference from the report of the veto message with the president with the certain amendment with the measure with the time of the stage with the disagreement between the two houses. For example, the privileged man with the certain reports of the House committee with the privilege include the reports of the committee on the rules of the reports on the committee of the operation general with the operation of the bill printing of the committee funding resolution report of the committee on the House of the administration reports of the members conductors of the committee on the change of official conduct bill joint resolution motion for them also may be taken to provide in status of the result of the special procedure written in statute of the member in charge of the matter of the may call of the practical anytime with immediately consideration no other business is pending usually with the done with the after consultation with the majority and minority of floor leaders member both of the member party of the will be advanced for the notice. Any time after the reading of the journal, members with the direction of the committee operation may move the House of the resolve from the committee with the whole House on the state of the Union with the purpose of consideration general operation bill, they may not be considered in the House until 3 calendar days, excluding Saturday, Sunday, and legal holidays, unless the House is in session on those days with the after printed committee reports, hearing transcript on the bill that have been available to members. Alright, 11. Consideration debate with consideration measures may involve the several stages may be the permanent with the discussed below with the discussive areas for restriction has consideration well the voting method of the mechanisms. Committee of the whole in order to the expedite with the consideration of the bill, the resolution of the rules of health of the parliamentary mechanism known with the committee of the whole House and the state with the union with the enable the House act as a quorum less than the request of the requisite of the majority of the entire House of the quorum of the committee of the whole is 100 members of the measure of the union calendar involved with the tax making for the operation of authorizing paying means out appropriate operations already made with the disposal of the property must be first considered with the committee of the whole of the committee reports of the rule of allowing with immediate consideration of the measure of the committee of the whole. After the adoption of the rule, the Speaker may declare for the House to resolve of the Committee of the Whole. When the House for the resolve of the Committee of the Whole, the Speaker will leave the chair of the after appointing the chairman to preside with the rules of referred in preceding paragraph. Also fix the length of the debate with the Committee of the Whole. This may vary according to the importance of the measure of the provide with the rule of the control of the time usually divided equally between the chairman and the ranking minority member of the relevant committee with the member seeking to speak with the for or against the measure any of the range of advance for the member the control of the time and on their respective side with allowed with a certain amount of time. In debate, members also make with the members speaking with the time of the yield with the question of the brief statement, the transcript of the proceeding of the House for the time printed daily with the congressional record with the frequently permission with granted for the member to unanimous consent with the revived extent of the remarks. Congressional record sufficient time with the make a lengthy oral statement is not available during an actual debate. The revision and extensive of the printed with the distinct with the type of the and cannot be substantially altered with the verbatim transcript. Conduct with the debate is generally governed by the principle of the rules of the House with adopted with the opening of each Congress and the 106th of the Congress. The rule for the recodified with the simplification of the clarity. Jefferson's man presented with the Thomas Jefferson for his own guidance for the President of the Senate with the 1797 and the 1801 is another recognized authority of the House for the long-standing with the rule provision. Jefferson's manual shall govern the House for the applicable case if where they are not inconsistent with the rules of the House. Non-parliamentary questions arising during the course of the debate with the reform of the rules-based proceeding with a similar situation. Parliamentary of the House is President of the House of the Chair and Chamber in order to assist the Speaker of the Chairman in making the correct ruling on the parliamentary question. Second reading during the general debate with a accurate amount of time with the eve of the both side with the cap of the chairman, terminate for the debate with all the time allowed with the rule of the consumer with the after the general of the debate. Second reading of the bill begins with the second of the reading of the section reading with the during with the amendments made with the offer of the section when the what is when it is read with the under many special with the modified close of the rules adopted with the House when the bills considered with the read open with the process amended with the under the limited time allocation and with the any open amendment with the process with the member the permanent with 5 members with the to explain with the proposed amendment after with the member who is first recognized by the chair is allowed to speak 5 minutes of the opposition. There is technically no further debate with the amendment, therefore with the effect of the preventing fill or buster like tactics known as the 5-minute rule. However, the members may offer with the amendment to the separate with the 5-minute debate with the may offer of the pro form an amendment to strike the last rule with the which does not change the language of the amendment but allow for the member to 5 of the minutes to further debate with the each substantive of the amendment and amendment thereto with his proof of the committee of the whole with the adoption and lift of the House with the adoption of the specific rule self-execution and adoption with a certain amendment of the committee and with the whole House with the may either with the initially the adoption of the open rule later or alter of the rule by the unanimous consent of the established universal list of amendments with the bill with the proceed with the most commonly used with the general operation bill with the recover the volume of the amendments at any time of the after of the debate with it has become the proposed amendment with the section in the paragraph of the bill under the 5-minute rule of the committee of the whole with the majority of the vote with the members permanently close with the debate with the amendment pending section over the paragraph. However, the debate is closed with the section or paragraph before the debate with the amendment of the member has with the cover of the printing of the congressional record at least one day with the prior to the floor of the consideration over the amendment. The member who, for the cause of the amendment to be printed with the record, is given in 5 minutes for the explain with the amendment. The 5 minutes is also given to speak with the opposition and amendment. No further the debate with the amendment is allowed. Allowed amendments placed in the constant congressional record must indicate with the full text of the proposed amendment, the name of the member for the proposing of the number of the bill and amendment will be offered within the point in bill amendment there where the amendment is intended to be offered. The amendment to appear for the portion of the record designated with the purpose of amendment for the germane rules of the House prohibited with the amendment subject matter with the different text under consideration on the rule commonly known as the Germanist rule, with one of the most important rule of the House of the rules representing the because of the obvious and if the need to keep the focus of the body of the side of the House of the predictable the subject matter of the Germanius rules apply with the proceeding of the House of the committee of the whole seeing for the committee. There are 100 prior rulings with the precedent of the germane rule. Germane is available guide to the chair. Congressional earmarks. House rule provides that there's not in order to consider bill with joint resolution report with the committee and left with the committee of the report included the list of the congressional earmarks. Limited tax benefit, limited tariff benefit for the bill with the report statement with the measure for the content with none of these items of the report must include the name of the member of the delegate, the resident commissioner of the subject with the request of the committee with each of these respective items included in the list of the rule apply with the content of the report with the unreported bill for the joint resolution and the so-called the major of the amendment with the offer of the outset with an amendment process with the member of the committee with the initial with the referral under the terms of the special rule with respect to the unreported bill with the unreported joint resolution with the manager amendment with the rule with the require of the list of the statement of the printed with the congressional with the record with the private consideration. In the case of the conference report with the list of the statement may include the joint explanatory statement for the prayer with the manager of the House with the manager with the Senate with the special rule with the committee on the rules, the waiver of the requirements of a rule subject to the special point of order to vote. Committee on the rise with the conclusion of the consideration bill with the amendment of the committee on the whole with the rise report with the bill with the House with the amendment to have the after the rise with the committee of the whole words back to the House with the chairman of the House, chairman of the committee replaced with the speaker of the House action on the bill with amendments of adopted with the committee on the whole with the committee on the whole right with the motion portion prior to conclusion consideration of amendments. But the bill must return to the committee of the whole subject with the consideration simple motion with the rise of the may be used immediately how the consideration of the bill similar to the motion adjourning in the House. House action debate on the bill with the House and cut with the in moving and ordering of the previous question with all the debate cut off on the bill with the heads of the motion carried with the majority of the members voting quorum being present for the special ruling order with the previous question on the upon rise of the committee on the whole with the speaker then puts the question shall the bill with the engrossed if the read for the third time if the question is decided by the affirmative of the bill is read for the third time title only by the title only voted for only for the passages. In previous question, have within order of the time term of the rule of the bill reported with the committee on the whole of the House immediately votes with whatever amendment to have in report with the committee in order to which appear with the bill and left the voted with the in block with the, after completion of the vote with amendments. House immediately votes on the passage of the bill with the amendment adopted. However, the motion of the recommit with it described as the next section of the may be offered voted in private voting on the passage. Speaker may postpone the record vote with the final passage of the bill resolution as well as the other matters with the other two legislative day with the measure of the do not have to consider the committee of the whole whole are considered by the House with accordance with the terms of rules limiting debate with a measure under the hour rule. The hour rule limits the amount of time when the member can occupy the debating of the pending question to 60 minutes. Generally, the opportunity of the debate may also be curtailed if the speaker banks of the rare determination of the motion is dilatory. After the passage of rejection of the bill with the House of the motion, when the reconsideration automatically lay over the table, the unanimous consent of the motion, when the reconsider the table, the prohibited with the motion for being made a later date with the cover the vote of the House of the proposition of the non-file with conclusive until there has been an opportunity to reconsider it. Motion to recommit. After the previous question has been ordered for the bill's joint resolution, ordered to the one over the motion recommitted with the bill's joint resolution of the committee speaker with the given the presence of the in preference of the recognition of the purpose of minority party member who is Proof to the bill, a joint resolution of the motion is not subject to the debate. However, the motion recommitted with the instruction after the previous question has been ordered debatable for the 10 minutes, except for the majority of flow manager made a demand with the debate with the extent of the 1 hour whenever the time is allowed for the debate, divided equally between the proponent with the opponent with the motion, with the instruction of the motion recommitted with the normally take with the form of the remaining amendments for the proposal of the minority immediately changed with the final form bill prior to the passage, and the instruction may also with the general consisting of the non-binding instruction of the committee with the take specified action such as for the promptness review of the bill with a particular point of viewpoint, or to hold with a further hearing. Such general instruction may not contain arguments. Quorum and calls and real calls. Article 1, Section 5 of the Constitution provides that the majority each of the House constituted with the quorum is brief with itself of the very small number of the quorum compelled with the attendance of the absent of the members in order to fulfill the constitutional responsibility. Rules of the House provide alternative procedure for the quorum calling in the House with the committee of the whole of the absence quorum of the 15 member of the initial call of the House with compelled with the attendance of the absence of the member. Such a call for the House must be ordered with the majority vote. Call for the House with the order of the call is taken with the electronic device respond with the electronic alphabetical call with the roll members absent of the member having a minimum of 15 minutes for the ordering of the call of the House with the electronic device that may have the presence of the recorded. The sufficient exercise excuse if a sufficient excuse is not offered for their absence, they may be sent with the sergeant armed to the attendance of the security that retaining the House for the determine the condition which they are to be discharged. The members of voluntary appear until the House is otherwise directed immediately admitted with the howl of the House must report with the name of the clerk and of the general president. Compulsory attendance with the rest of the members of the rare of the modern practice. The rules of the House provide special authority with the Speaker, the recognized member of the Speaker's choose to move the call to the House at any time when a question is put into a vote with the Speaker with the quorum and a vote when the such question quorum is not present with the objection made with the reason of the call of the House unless the House adjourned with the call is taken with the electronic device sergeant armed that may bring the absent member for the yes and nays. On the pending question, or at the same time with the conservative and order with the automatic recorded vote with the taken with the clerk utilize with the electronic system call with the rolls for the each of the member is within presence of the may vote with the pending question. Of those voting on the question, when the president will decline with the vote together with the majority of the House, Speaker with the declare with the quorum with the constitute with the question, pending question with the decide with the majority of the other voting, determine the rule of the House for the prohibited point, order no quorum unless the Speaker has the position of the vote, put a question in the vote, but the House should be without quorum to do with the catastrophic circumstances. The rule of the House of the established pursuit with the provisional numbers of the House, that they may operate sufficient when the members of the House constitute with the quorum appear with the rule over the quorum call for the different, and if some of the aspects, committee of the whole. First time on the committee of the whole finds itself without a quorum during the day with the chairman and is required for the order of the roll to be called with the electronic device unless the chairman orders a call of the committee. However, the chairman may refuse to entertain with the point of order no quorum during the general debate if the one call for the quorum 100 members are appeared with the committee to continue with its business. Quorum does not appear with the committee with the right of the chairman and report with the name of the absence of the House of the rules provided with the expedition of the conduct with the quorum of the calls of the committee of the whole of the chairman may suspend with the quorum call after 100 members have recorded with the presence and the judge of the quorum call of the committee will not with the right of the proceeding with under the quorum call for the vacated if in the case recorded vote with the officer for the immediately following with the termination with a short quorum call for the minimum of 15 minutes of the alternate of the chairman that may show with the permit full 15-minute quorum call with wherein the members are recorded the president when they absent to be followed with a 5-minute record vote with the pending on the question of the once quorum when the committee of the whole has been established for the day with the quorum call with the committee is only with the order of the committee with the operating on the 5-minute rule with the chairman has putting in the pending question with the vote with the rules prohibit the point of order no quorum against the vote in which committee of the whole agrees to arrive with however the appropriate point of the no quorum would be permitted against the vote with the defeating of the motion to rise. Voting. There are 3 methods of voting with the committee of the whole with the input with the House. There are voice voting of the division vote, the record vote of the year. Yea and nay vote is the method used only in the House. The may automatically the member of the object of the vote with the ground with the quorum does not presently conduct with the voice and the vote. Chair puts for the question as many of the favor say aye, but as many with the opposed say no. With the chairman to determine the result of the comparison of the volume of the ayes and the noes. This form of the vote with the order only taken in the first instance. If the difficult to determine the result of the voice vote with the division when it may be demanded by the members initiated by the chair then states is a meeting of the favor will rise and stand until counted with the counting of the favor he called for the opposed for the stand, but they be counted thereby determining the number of the favor of that opposed for the question. If the member requests the recorded vote of the request is support of at least 1/5 of the quorum of the House, 44 members of the 25 members of the committee of the whole of the vote is taken with the electronic device after the recorded vote is concluded. The name of the voting has the voting with the enter of the general members for the minimum of 15 minutes to be counted for the time of the record or for the order vote is ordered. Speaker may renew for the period of the voting of 5 minutes subsequent votes over the certain situations which have no intervening debate over the bills of business. Speaker is not required to vote unless the speaker to vote would be decisive of the mind practice of the committee with the whole postpones cluster votes of amendments to maximize efficient scheduling of the vote. Chairman of the committee with the whole with the discretion of authority to postpone with the votes amended to reduce the time with the voting of the amendments of 5 minutes allowing with a 15-minute First Amendment of the series. Chairman does not allow the postponement of the votes on the matter for the amendment of Amendment 4 does not allow the postponement of the votes for the outcome could be prejudicial over the authoring of another amendment. In the House, support 1/5 of the members present with the necessary with the constitutional ordering yea and nay of the yeas and the nays over the record over the order of the point order made over the quorum not present when the clerk activates the electronic system called for the roll reports of the result of the speak with the announcer for the into the House of the made of legislation questions may be postponed at time selected by the speaker within 2 legislative days. Rules of the House for the require with 3/5 of the vote. A passive of the joint resolution amendment of the conference report with the containment of the specified type of the federal income tax rate increase the rules of the House provided the automatic yeas and nays of the vote with the passage of the certain final measure for the including with the current resolution budget for the general operation bill with the Constitution require with the yeas and nays of the voting arrive with the overriding presidential veto. Rules prohibit the member of one casting on another member's vote with a recording of the members present for the House for the committee of the whole. 2, authorizing another individual to cast a vote of record member present for the House of the committee of the whole. Electronic voting. Record votes are usually taken on an electronic device by the speaking order with be recorded with the other members of the prescribed of the rules of the House. In addition, with the quorum call for the generally taken from the electronic device, the electronic system works as for all of the number of the vote station with the attached to select with the chair of the car chamber. Each station with a clip of the vote card with the slide with the 4 indicate the yea or nay present when the open with the vote in progress system and is ready to accept the votes. Each member that provide with an encrypted voted ID card. Member vote is inserted with the voting card into any one of the voting station pass and pressing the appropriate button to indicate the member's choice of the member without the voted ID card wishes to change his vote during the last 5 minutes of the vote. The member may record with a handling on the paper ballot to with a tally clerk when the records vote electronically according to the indicated preference of the member. The paper ballots are green and red, nay, and orange for president. Pairing member of the former system. The pairing members of the member could arrange with the answer for the record with either the favor or the opposed of the question have been paired with another absent of the member to hold with the contrary of the view of the question has largely been eliminated. Rules still allow with the live pair with the live pair with the where the members vote with the not impaired with the subsequent withdrawal of the vote with the ask of the not protected marked presence and protect with the other members with the most common practice for absent members to submit with a statement of record stating how they would vote if present with a specific vote system of the lights and bells. Due to the diverse nature of the daily task they have to perform in the non-practical the members that present with the House and the Senate chamber every minute of the business body of the business session. Furthermore, many of the routine matters do not require the personal attendance of all of the member system consisting of electronic lights and bells on the buzzer located at the various parts of the Capitol building, housing of the Senate office building with the alerts for the members of certain occurrences in the House and Senate chambers. In the House, the Speaker is ordered to bell the lights of comparison. The system utilizes as follows. Recess authority. The House may authorize the Speaker to declare the recess under the House rule. The Speaker has the authority to declare the House recess for a short time with no question pending with the House in case of emergency. Live coverage of floor proceedings. The rules of the House provide unedited radio, television, broadcasting, and recording of the proceeding floor of the House. However, the rules prohibit the use of the broadcast of the recording of the particular political purpose for the aim of the commercial advertisement. Rules of the Senate also provide the broadcasting of the recording proceeding of the Senate chamber with similar restrictions. 12. Congressional budget process.